I'm recording, just FYI.
I won't say any bad words.
Alright. So, the hard part about this might be that you have to draw a graph on each one. And it kind of matters if it's reasonably close to accurate. So, try to make, you gotta draw some tick marks and try to make them like pretty evenly spaced apart. Because you're gonna be using your graph to find information. If you really wanted to, you could grab the warm-up, like take one of those graphs and put it under, and you could like trace it. I don't think you need to do that much, but it's kind of up to you. So you're looking for the equation of the line. I'm telling you where to start, and then I'm telling you the slope. So I want the equation. Well, my equation is going to be 5/3 x plus something, because I know the slope. The slope goes in front of the x. So what I'm going to do is put the point on there and use the slope to find where it crosses the y-axis. So -3, -5, that's left 3, down 5. So do as best I can to keep it like pretty even and match things up well. And so what I'm looking for, I want to take this point and do this to it. And I want to get to the y-axis so I can see where it crosses. So the slope is elevator first, right? So 5 is in which direction? Up, and then 3 to the right. Well, if I start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and 3 to the right, hopefully you land on the origin. Do you guys also land on the origin?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then what is the y value where we cross the x's? 0. So you don't even really need to write it. Like you could just put y equals 5/3 x, but you can. I'm going to draw the line just because it makes me feel better, but you don't have to. Okay. Does that make sense what I'm trying to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to do a couple more for sure, but. Second one, again, kind of the most painful part is making sure your tick marks are all somewhat evenly spaced. I could have cut out 20 graphs and pasted them on here for you last night, but I didn't feel like that was necessary. Alright, 2, -1. So remember when it's, someone said it this way, because I know it's like backwards. Someone said, I remember if it's in parentheses, I go sideways first. If it's a fraction, I go up and down first. I don't know if that helps anybody. But to graph this point, that's a point that's in parentheses. So I'd go sideways first, and then that would be down 1. And then remember the negative sign in front of the slope. It can go with either one of those that you want. So it could be -1 on top of 2, or it could be 1 on top of -2. Sometimes you gotta like figure out which direction you're supposed to go. So if I looked at that one, I would go down 1 and over 2, but that puts me there. Even if I keep going, does that get me closer to the y-axis?
No.
It's not. So instead of going down 1, right 2, I can do the opposite and just go backwards. So what's the opposite of down 1, right 2? It would be up 1, over 2. And then do I land on the axis? I do. What's the y-intercept? 0. My slope was -1/2. So you could, it's not always going to be 0. It just happened to be in those first 2.
That's pretty tough.
You're pretty tough. Wait, tough's like a good thing, right? Yeah, I take it back. You're not tough. Alright, 3. This one's going to be 0, too. So 5, -5. Like somewhere down there. slope's -1, but I wanna make it a fraction, so what goes in the bottom? Just a regular 1. And then that would tell me, this tells me down 1, right 1. But if I start going down 1, right 1, I'm going like off over here. That's not getting me towards the y-axis. So what's the opposite of down 1, right 1? Be up 1, left 1. And if you do that and kind of work your way back, this one you actually land on the origin also. I promise they're not all the origin. Does that make sense what I'm doing? Give me a thumbs up, down. It does not make sense what I'm doing. Alright, let me do 4. This one's not 0, so that might be a little. Make your graph on 4. Oh, wait a second. Maybe I'm going too fast. I'm just gonna wait for people to draw 4 so I can make sure everybody has a draw before I go through it. We got our graph drawn before?
Sure.
Alright, so I'm gonna put the point on there. 2 comma -3, that's my x and my y. That tells me right 2, down 3. So like right there is where I'm starting. Right 2, down 3. The slope is -4. So it's supposed to be a fraction though, right? So it's really -4 over 1. Well, that would tell me to go down 4, right 1. But if I start going down and to the right, I'm like wandering away from the y-axis. So I want to do the opposite. Instead of going down 4, right 1, I can do the opposite of that and go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1, which put me there. And I'm not at the y-axis yet, but am I getting closer?
You are.
I am, so like I could just do it again. So up 4, left 1. Again, I'm doing the opposite because I would have run out of graph the other way. And then if you could draw that right, it crosses through at 5. So that would be your equation. That line makes me sad. I'm sorry, it's not straight. It's not dropping the points. Give me a thumbs up, down, sideways again. Sorry. I know I just said it.
No, you're never stomach.
Landon, is there a specific part that's? Someone gave me 1 thumb down the first time and 2 thumbs down the second time, so I think I made them dumber somehow. Sorry about that. Raise your hand if you feel like I don't really need you to go through anymore. I'm good. Let me just go. And I'm not judging. I'm scared. Okay. And if you want to go, just go. Like, that's fine. If you want to pay attention, pay attention. Shh. Ready? 2 comes 0. That's my x and y. Let's point right there. Agree. So my equation, I know is going to be y equals 3/2 x plus something. The slope is 3/2, and the slope just goes right in front of the x. I answers, but the answers I think are just equations. You gotta have, yeah, you've seen them, you've seen the answers? Yeah, you took a look. You gotta have the graph, cause that's like your work. Yeah, so there's the equations. But if you just give me an equation, you're not gonna get credit.